The project next door sold 6 billion AED in 72 hours during a geopolitical crisis with a developer very few had heard of. I want to tell you what just launched on the same island with one of the best developers in the UAE at lower prices, and why I think this is one of the most interesting entry points in the UAE right now. If you're invested in Dubai or you're thinking about it, just stay with me because what I'm about to break down is going to change the whole conversation. Let me start with the question I always get. Why Abu Dhabi? You know Dubai, you understand how it works, the growth, the liquidity, the returns. Abu Dhabi is structurally very different, and that's exactly the point. Dubai's economy is heavily driven by tourism and foreign capital. When external pressure hits, as they did before, Dubai really felt it. Reduced tourism flow, investment hesitation, a dip in momentum. Abu Dhabi didn't move. Why? Because Abu Dhabi is backed by sovereign wealth funds. Mubaddala, AGIA, ADQ. These are not real estate investors looking for returns. They are institutions that anchor the entire UAE economy. And when they commit capital to Abu Dhabi's real estate, the market just doesn't panic. Now let's talk numbers because I don't do opinion without data. Yas Island's apartment, which is exactly next to this island, recorded plus 30% year-on-year price growth as of Q3 2025. That's ADREC data, Abu Dhabi's official real estate center. Now, rental yields on apartment is between 6 and 9% on long-term recorded contracts. These are not projections. These are transactions that already have happened. And here's how I frame it for every client who asks. If you already have Dubai in your portfolio, Abu Dhabi is not a replacement, it's a complement. It's how you diversify smartly within a market that you already understand. Same tax environment, same legal framework, different economic engine, but that's a combination that's really actually quite rare globally. Now I want to be specific about the location because just saying Abu Dhabi undersells it. Like you can see here, this is Yas Island and the project sits just behind it and it's going to be linked with two different bridges. So the project is just next to Yas Island, and Yas Island is to Abu Dhabi what would be downtown Marina to Dubai. So it's a flagship entertainment and residential destination in the capital. And what's already there is Ferrari World, like we can see here, the first Ferrari theme park in the world. We're going to have, and we have Warner Bros. Warner Bros. World, one of the largest indoor theme parks in the world and on the planet. SeaWorld Abu Dhabi opened really recently, pulling new international families. We have the F1 circuit, very, very well known, Yas Marina circuit, home to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have Yas Links Abu Dhabi, ranked #1 golf course in the Gulf, in the Middle East for 13 consecutive years, and in the top 100 in the world. We have the Etihad Arena, which is actually well known as well. 18,000 seats, concert, sports, major international events, you name it, it's there. We have the Yas Mall as well, one of the largest mall and the largest mall in Abu Dhabi, 400 plus stores. We have the Yas Creative Hub as well, 70 square meters. We have Ubisoft, CNN, Unity that are already operating there right now. And we have, of course, like it's written here, 38 million plus visitors in 2024, 90% plus hotel occupancy, and 10% year on year, which is a lot. So it's really actually interesting to be in Abu Dhabi right now, and what makes this project so attractive. And here's where it gets really interesting for the investors. What's coming? Disney Abu Dhabi officially announced in May 2025. Harry Potter Land, an extension of Warner Bros. Planned for 2027 to 2028, so it's really soon. Sphere Abu Dhabi, the 20,000 seat entertainment venue that we can find in Las Vegas as well, currently under development. We have a direct tram line to Zayed International's airport, projected between 2026 and 2030, and 16,000 jobs at Yas Creative Hub by one. So I want to say something important here because I know how this sounds. These are not developer promises, okay? These are not brochure claims. These are government decisions that are backed by sovereign funds. When Miral or ADQ commit to something, it gets built. That's just how it works. Disney Abu Dhabi has been officially announced. The question isn't whether it's going to happen at all. The question is whether you enter before or after this news is priced into the market. And for context, the project is 14 minutes from Zayed International Airport. And that's not a selling point. That's just a fact that is worth knowing, especially when you have all of the other things that are happening on Yas Island just next to the project. All right, so location is compelling, catalysts are strong, but let's talk about the developer, because in off-plan, the developer is actually everything. I know that in Dubai, the off-plan risk question is completely legitimate. No problems about this. There are developers who have delivered late, who have cut quality on handover, who depend on your deposit to actually break ground, right? So let me address this head on before you even ask. Sobha Realty has been founded by PNC Menon, a craftsman who became a developer by conviction. So 50 plus year, as you can see here, of operation, present in, let me show you this, 6 countries. So UAE, UK, Italy, USA, India, and Australia. Not a single undelivered project in 50 years. But here is what I think matters most. Sobha does not depend on your off-plan payment to build. They're completely self-financed. The construction is funded independently on the sales that they make. That is a fundamentally different risk profile from a developer who needs to sell 60% of the building before they are even able to break ground. But now this is their first time in Abu Dhabi, and at the launch event, they were very clear about why they came. What they're saying is, everywhere Sobha has gone, they became the quality reference. Abu Dhabi is their new and next challenge. And that's true, because right now in Dubai, when you ask who's the best developer in terms of quality, who's gonna construct the best product that's gonna stay the longest, and where I'm gonna have absolutely no problem with the quality, the first name anyone was gonna say is Sobha, right? And the context for the statement that I told you that just said is Abu Dhabi is ready to. Now the context, and why did they say this, and why am I saying this right now? Because the thing is, Abu Dhabi's residential construction quality has historically been behind Dubai standards, right? So Sobha is arriving to change that. The ambition matters a lot for you investors, because the quality is the single most important driver of secondary market value. Now, one more comparison I want to make just for you to keep in mind. The project on the adjacent land has been launched by Ohana Development, and it sold over 6 billion dirham in 72 hours during all the regional tension that we have right now. And this developer doesn't even have the track records that Sobha has. Very few people know about them, and their prices were higher than Sobha's phase 1, the starting prices. So I'm not here to criticize the developer or say anything bad, actually, no. Just the results, they prove the demand that we have over there. Let me show you the project itself. Sobha City is not building a gym and a pool. It's a master planned community, as you can see here, designed really at city scale. So it's huge, 4 times bigger than what we have right now in Heartland in Dubai. 38 million plus square feet of land. 60% of that was going to be just open and green spaces, 50,000 plus trees, 20 kilometers wellness and cycling pool within the community, a 2-kilometer waterfront promenade, a private marina with berth for yachts, integrated canals running throughout the community. So it's going to be a really nice waterfront living, and all of this inside the project in itself, not just nearby. And we also have a par 3 executive golf course built within the master plan that you're going to see just above on the right. So sports and wellness infrastructure, outdoor gyms, indoor multi-sports courts, climbing, adventure parks, jogging, trails, meditation spaces, everything you can think of is going to be within that community, right? Dining, retails, mosques, amphitheaters, everything that makes it self-contained in the sense that it's a city within a city. If you do not want to get out of this community, you don't even have to, right? All of this 15 minutes from Yas Island, 15 minutes from Disneyland, from Harry Potter Land, from anything that you want to have to entertain yourself more than within the community itself. Phase 1 has 3 different clusters. The orchard, which is going to be the villas and garden villas, green, spacious, really family oriented. Then we're going to have the terraces, townhouses with a really nice architecture, really contemporary, and actually really nice layouts with a 3-bedroom plus majlis, which is an entire other room. We'll talk about it more if necessary. River Cove Residences, which are going to be the apartments sitting directly on the canal waterfront. Really nice waterfront living again. This is the entry level product by ticket size, of course. Now for the pricing, let me show you another document. For the pricing, the one bedroom start at 1.31 million dirham. For the two bedrooms, it's going to be 2.4, and for the townhouses, 4.96 for the three bedrooms. Villas starting 9 million. Now for the payment plan, it's going to be same as usual with Sobha, 60-40, and it's going to be 5% every 3 to 6 months, depending on the payment plan and where you are. If you need more information, do let me know. 40% on handover, and the handover is going to be December 2029. Now, here's something that surprised everyone at the launch event. Before the launch, market estimated that we're going to be around 1.6 for one bedrooms, but Sobha came in really below that. We weren't expecting at all the 1.31, and that actually wasn't accidental. This is a market entry strategy that Sobha has done before. They want to establish themselves really, really fast in Abu Dhabi's market. Now, these prices will not be available in phase two. Of course, usually Sobha gives a more expensive price phases by phase, of course. Now, let me give you the investment side of this with real numbers. Everything I'm about to share come from ADREC, so Abu Dhabi Real Estate Center, and AirDNA. These are recorded transactions and active and live listings, of course, so no projections here. Long-term rental on a one-bedroom apartment, so the medium rent on Yas Island, which is just next to the plot, is currently around 85,000 dirham per year, against an entry price of 1.3 million. That's roughly 6.5 gross yield, right? Two bedroom, the medium rent is around 133,000 AED per year, against an entry of 2.6. That's approximately 5.5 gross, right? And short-term rental picture. ADNH scores the Yas Island submarket 94 out of 100. Average annual revenue per unit is 155 AED. 155k AED, so up 21% year on year, which is amazing. And average daily rate is 813 AED, sorry, so plus 17%. And the hotel context tells you exactly why, because the W Abu Dhabi Yas Island is charging 3,477 AED per night on booking.com, right? Hilton Yas Island is 4,132 dirham per night, above 90% occupancy across the island. When demand is that strong for hotel beds, it overflows directly into the residential rentals, and that's what we're looking for here, right? Now, let me put the entry price into the context. Yas Links Luxury Living, an existing project on Yas Island, has been transacting at 3,213 AED per square foot for a one bedroom. Yas Living has transacted at 2,222 AED per square foot. Sobha Phase 1 is launching at around 2,300 dirham per square foot. So you're not just buying one of the best product on that area, built by one of the most credible developer, by the best developer in terms of quality, at a price below what's inferior and on existing projects that are currently trading at, right? So the gap will close. It will always close. It always closes. When a better product enter the market, and this is one of the best products that you're going to find in the Abu Dhabi market. And now there's also a second layer of upside that I want to explain really clearly so that you understand where you're going. Sobha runs a phased launch strategy. They always have, probably will always do that in the future. It's deliberate and it's not a constraint. Phase 1 is the lowest entry point, of course, designed to establish market presence really, really fast where they're going. Phase 2 will launch at, usually it's around 5% above phase 1 prices, sometimes 10%. So you know there's going to be like, of course, a difference in the price. By the time you reach delivery in December 2029, Disney Abu Dhabi will be operating or close to it, right? Harry Potter Land will be open or under final construction. I don't want to give like dates that are for sure because things can always happen, but that should be the timeline. And the Creative Hub will have its 16,000 jobs in place. The 1.31 million AD entry points for the one bedroom will look very different against that backdrop. Same for the townhouses, same for the villas, but especially for the apartments. And now, before I wrap up, let me address the three questions I always get, always hear. Question one is always, off-plan is risky. Yes. With the wrong developer, it absolutely is, no questions asked. With Sobha, the off-plan risk is as close to zero as this class of asset allows. 50 years of operations, zero defaults, zero in undelivered projects, self-finance. They don't need to sell phase one to start the construction. If the concern is what if the developer doesn't deliver, Sobha is one of the developers in the UAE whether concern is essentially irrelevant. Sorry. So question two is, I can't manage a property from abroad. No problem. You don't have to. Property management on a Yas Island is first well established. You're looking at 5 to 7% net returns after management fee. But I have clients managing their Dubai properties from France, from Switzerland, from West Africa, from the US, Canada, you name it. They don't visit the property. We actually take care of it. They just receive the return. So if you need anyone to manage the property, we'll take care of it as La Riviera Real Estate. We can do that. Abu Dhabi is the exact setup of what we're doing right now in Dubai. Now, question three, 40% at delivery is a lot. Two concrete options. And I walk through both with every client that wants to. Okay. Option one, you can have a mortgage at handover, Islamic or not. You have different options. UAE banks finance non-residents up to 50% of the property value, sometimes 60%. And at December 2029 rates, that can cover your 40% balance partially or fully. Right? This is the first option. Option two, sell before handover. That's actually another option that you can entertain. With the phases appreciation built into the timeline, phase one and phase two, to deliver, many investors exit before they ever pay that 40%. But that's for the investors that just want to make money out of their investment and not necessarily rent it out or sell it after handover, right? The capital gain from the phase uplift covers the balance and then some. Both scenarios are worth modeling. That's exactly the kind of conversation that we have on one-on-one before we make a decision. And it's only for that kind of investors that are not pretty sure that they're going to have the 40% and we need to find a solution because they want to invest in the project. Of course, if you have the 40%, this question is not for you. Now, if any of this resonates with where you are in your journey right now, in your investment journey, whether you already have Dubai and you're thinking about Abu Dhabi and where Abu Dhabi fits for you, or you're looking at your first position in the UAE, I do 30 minutes consultations, no pitch, no pressure, just an honest conversation to see your specific situation, your timeline, your budget. Then if this is something you're interested in, the link to book is in the description. And if this kind of breakdown is useful to you, the data, the context, the stuff that doesn't make it into the brochures, subscribe. We're going to do this more regularly.